Hello, I'm conductor James Blachly, and I'll be making my debut with the DSO on the July Neighborhood Concert Series program, Summer Serenade. I'm joined today by my friend and colleague, the esteemed performer and scholar, Dr. Louise Toppin, who is the founder of the African Diaspora Music Project based in Southeast Michigan. Louise, would you share a bit about yourself?
Hello, James, and congratulations on your debut with the DSO. I'm a professor of voice at the University of Michigan, and I'm the director of Videmus, and I'm a professional opera singer, so I inhabit all those worlds.
Well, two of the composers featured on the Summer Serenade program, Coleridge Taylor Perkinson and Julia Perry, are included in the African Diaspora Music Project that you founded. Can you tell us a little bit more about the project?
Absolutely. From the time of my doctoral degree at the University of Michigan, I began working on African American art song because I realized that this music was not in my program. And I wanted to learn much more about composers that I knew looked like me, but that I wasn't studying. So that began my journey. And along the way, I co-founded the George Shirley Vocal Competition, which is also held at the University of Michigan each year with my teacher, George Shirley. And as a part of it, I noticed that the students kept singing the same songs over and over and over. And it helped me to realize that they only had access to a few anthologies. And so they really weren't getting a chance to experience the breadth of the repertoire. So I founded the African Diaspora Music Project, which started with the 4,000 songs that I had collected over the 30 some years of my career. And with your work coming to me 3 years ago, I've been so excited to work on orchestral repertoire now with you. And you really have been the impetus for pushing the orchestral rep and getting us an opportunity to work with orchestras throughout the United States.
Yeah, it's been so exciting. I just have been struck over these years. We speak multiple times a week about these various different initiatives, which include work with several orchestras around the country, the League of American Orchestras. But you know, as we speak, I keep learning new things about you. So I just thought the audience might like to know something about the dozens of songs that were commissioned for your voice. Would you just share just a few of those?
Oh, absolutely. And actually, I haven't told you, but it's almost 100 songs at this point that have been written for my voice. I keep getting song cycles and premiering new stuff. I just premiered 12 more songs that were written for me in this year.
Mm.
And so it really has been a wonderful journey of getting to know some of the new composers. Mark Lomax was one I did this year. I did some songs of Maria Thompson Corley, and the other one was Persis Vehar, who is not an African American, but she wrote on the poetry of Lucille Clifton. So it's been a wonderful journey getting to know composers and working with living composers. What about you? Are you getting a chance to do some new composers that you're excited about?
Oh, of course. This is such a great process of personal discovery and just learning about music that I didn't know about. Wished I had been, wish that this music had been brought to me, earlier in my career. But I'm just, I'm just thrilled to continue to explore a new repertoire that I think should be a part of our canon. So I talk about it as expanding the orchestral canon, not replacing it, but really broadening what we perform on our concert
Absolutely.
halls. Uh,
Absolutely. And trying to get everyone to think about about it that way, that it's not about replacement, it's always about expansion. And I know that you're doing for your concert a work by Coleridge Taylor Perkinson and Julia Perry, who are in the database, of course, both of them for both vocal work and instrumental. Can you tell us something about either of these composers that's interesting for you?
Absolutely. Well, we've been working closely with the estate of Julia Perry to advocate for her music to be performed more broadly. She's an absolutely stunning composer, rigorously constructed music, but very, very beautiful. The piece that we'll be performing with the Detroit Symphony in its debut, in its premiere performance with the Detroit Symphony, is her prelude for piano arranged for strings. So Prelude for Strings. It was written when she was 22 years old. It's a very beautiful piece, displays some of her harmonic richness, and I think it's a good introduction to her music. And the second piece by Coleridge Taylor Perkinson is also written when he was 22 years old. It's his Sinfonietta #1 for strings, and it's one of my favorite pieces for string orchestra. I think it displays a virtuosic compositional technique. It's a tour de force for the musicians. The Detroit Symphony is going to sound extraordinary on this piece. And it displays a great sense of both contrapuntal technique, voices intricately interwoven between them in all the different instruments, but also this great harmony, this jazz infused harmony. A lot of the audience will recognize that, but it's really a distinctive compositional voice. And Perkinson is one of the great musical talents that America has ever known. His versatility, his ability to perform, not just jazz piano with Max Roach, but he studied at the Berkshire Music Center as a conductor. And of course, his compositions are not just in the classical realm, but also television and film. But just extraordinarily talented. And this piece, written when he was 22 years old. I mean, every time I perform it, I think, how did he write this when he was that young? But the same with Julia Perry, with her piece that's also from that same age. So it's going to be a wonderful concert, and we're just so excited to be collaborating and having the African Diaspora Music Project as a part of these concerts.
And I love the fact that both of these composers were also conductors. And so,
Mm-hmm.
of all people, they very much had, particularly Perry, had a full career as a conductor for orchestras. And so, someone who is that intimately acquainted with the orchestra is going to write so beautifully for the orchestra. I actually was on a program with Coleridge Taylor Perkinson when I was a young singer, and I really enjoyed watching him. He was conducting the program, and getting a chance to watch him in action as a conductor as well as a composer. You've already talked to us about what the audience will hear with these works and a little bit about why you've chosen them, but what do you hope that they will take away from their time watching you with the DSO or with these works?
Yeah, I just think that these are pieces that deserve to be heard more often. So I hope what people will take away from these performances is a sense of excitement to learn more about each of these composers and about the wealth of music that there is to explore and learn and listen to and enjoy. The database that we created together that I had been working on for about 8 years includes now more than 1,400 pieces by African diaspora composers for orchestra. So there's such an expansive amount of music to look into and to program and to perform. And these are two wonderful pieces, but there's so much more. And so I hope that people will take away from these performances a sense of excitement about music that we haven't heard yet, but we will in the future.
Absolutely. And we hope that with the tool that we've created, ADMP allows people to listen. So if you've heard the pieces that you're offering on the program, they'll go to our page. You don't have to know anything about exploring this repertoire other than find the page on Julia Perry, read her bio, skim down and look at the pieces, and listen to performances if they exist. We have them on the site. And if you're interested further than that, we have curated lists for conductors and orchestras to find some of the pieces by these composers beyond the the pieces you're actually performing. So, and we hope to, and we're there to help. If people are looking for things, writing to us lets us help the listeners of a concert and the administrators of an orchestra to continue their search, because this music is worth hearing. And you picked two wonderful examples for this concert. I can't wait to come hear it, to be honest with you.
Me too. I can't wait to perform these pieces with the DSO and to get to present these pieces to your wonderful audience.